How's it going, everyone? It's Jaded. So if you guys haven't been following the Paragon leveling and seeing who gets first 100, Alkaiser was the first. He was a barbarian, and he got there relatively way before anyone else. A lot of people were saying he was botting, he was run by multiple people, but that looks not to be the case. He actually just had a really efficient run and was doing a lot of things that people are now doing because he started streaming recently and showing off his method. And so I thought I'd go over it, show you guys if, maybe you hadn't seen it, just so you guys can have a very efficient run if that's your cup of tea. I know it's not for everyone. Either way, you could take something away from this, even if you're just farming items with magic find. It's still a very efficient run because you're hitting a lot of monsters and very clustered rooms, so you're gonna get a lot more potential for drops too if that's what you do. So right off the bat, the first thing to note is you're gonna want to get to the entrance to Azmodan. You're gonna want to be on the Kill Azmodan quest. You're not gonna be killing any bosses. This is all just killing rares or rare packs and just normal mobs. So you get to this checkpoint right before the Azmo entrance, and you work your way backwards. And the reason you do this is a couple reasons. So it's just more efficient to get from this point to the portal or the waypoint, and then, port over to the next area rather than teleporting out while your Wrath of the Berserker's running. You can do this on any class, but this is tailored towards a barbarian. But, if you're a wizard and something else is good to do, throw that in the mix here too, because this is just efficient for anyone. So you're gonna start here, run your way back to the waypoint. Then once you get to the waypoint, you're gonna port to Tower of the Damned level 1. Basically, the reason you go to this is your Wrath of Berserker is still ticking, and you need mobs to be right there to get Fury off of. This place has that, as well as not a lot of normal mobs, and that's sort of why you go to each place first. You start with very high rare pack density, but not a lot of normal mobs, and then you work your way up to just more dense areas with just tons of mobs. So as you're running through the Tower of the Damned, you're gonna want to go clockwise here. Sometimes when you enter this, you can drop your Wrath. It's happened very few times, but it still does happen. But for the most part, you're gonna be cruising with Wrath always up, and that's why this run's so efficient as well. So once you get through that, then you're gonna port to Crater level 2, and this is a place where you can hit dead ends. One of the cool things about this run is you never feel like you have to just finish the area or something. Like if you hit a dead end and it's gonna take you a long time to run back, and it's not gonna be efficient, you can just teleport out, port to the next area, and sort of tailor it on a per run basis. But I've never really had to do that. I just always continue with the run. Now, one thing that Alkaiser's running with is he swapped out Warcry for Rend. And this is something that you can only do if you have really nice gear. If you have a ton of resists, you're gonna need all resist on nearly every piece you can get it on. And even getting fire resist as well on top of that really helps. And physical. But he's running Rend. I've tried it. I currently in my current gear, what I have working, just dropped it on the bar and went for it, just to see how it worked. It was very uncomfortable for me, so I am not using that currently. I'm still running the Warcry. I did switch Pulverize out because the reason you use Instigation is because there were long periods where there were just no mobs, and you'd have to hit a barrel, or you'd find one mob, and you need as much Fury as possible. But in this case, there's just mobs all over in this small, little sectioned run that you could switch to Pulverize and be good. So I went ahead and did that. Now, once you get done with the Crater level 2, you're gonna port to the bridge and then just run around out here, do another clockwise circle. This place is really dense. You're gonna want to poke around into some of the corners just to find packs, and the map never changes. So another thing is you don't need to go into the ice caves. Ice caves, you run into those dead ends in there, and there's the long strings of no mobs, so it's not very efficient. So I would go ahead and skip that. But just do your clockwise circle around here, and then once you're ready to port to Keep Depths level 1, and then run into level 2. And then this area has probably the most mob density And the only thing you really have to look out for is the exploders, the little baneling bombs. Those guys are just such jerks, man. And it doesn't really matter what gear you have. Although, if you have like a retarded amount of health, you probably don't die to it. But you know, if there's like 3 of them waiting on the end of on the other side of a door, you're probably gonna die. So you have to be careful with that sometimes, and you will spill to that. But other than that, I mean, this run, you shouldn't be dying that much. If you find yourself dying a lot during this run, I wouldn't even do it. You know, wait till you have better gear. But you know, if you can hang in Act 3, this is just so efficient. And I'll show you here what my XP was, how long it took. So as you can see, when I started, I had 6.98 million XP. So we'll just round that up to 7 mil. And it started at 5:55 a.m. And then if we look over when I finished, we're looking at 15.5 million. So about 8.5 mil there made. And you know, I've done this run 3 times, calculated it 3 times. They're all very similar. This run is very, very consistent. And then about 12 minutes in time. So, you know, after you do the number crunch, you do the math on that, it comes out to about 42 million XP for an hour. And as you can see, I need 53 mil XP for a level. So, you know, just over an hour. I know other people have done this run and they're making 50 million. They're making 55 million. Alkaiser made about 55 million. And then there was another barb who showed off his run. He made over 60 million XP a run because he had really, really good gear. So if you want efficient Paragon XP, I mean, some people, they might not see the reason to level Paragon, but it's going to really matter, especially when PvP comes around. I mean, if you're not leveling Paragon, you're just going to have like 300 less of your main stats, 200 less vitality, you know, 100 less dex, 100 less int. So it's really going to matter. And if you're looking to farm items, obviously having that magic find is pretty big too. If you haven't noticed yet, I'm not picking up any items other than item level 63 stuff and legendaries and sets, of course. But you know, after watching Alkaiser, I realized just how inefficient picking up all the rares is. I was picking up literally every rare over item level 61, so I had like bags full of stuff. And it just takes so long to identify all that and sift through it, put it on the auction house for like 100k, maybe even less. So really you're losing money if you think about it, because you're not getting to those super expensive items. And as time goes on, you know, item level 63 stuff's gonna be the best of the best. So picking that up, you know, it's quick, it's simple, only a few drop a run. So I've been doing that, but you know, if you want to cut those out, you'll probably get even more XP. But yeah, I wanted to show you guys that. That's basically it. I definitely need to sit down, plow some runs. I feel like I'm getting behind on the Paragon levels. And you know, doing this method's definitely way efficient on doing that. So anyways, that's it for my time. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next video.